Good afternoon everyone, it's Behzad here from Hey World Coder. Welcome back to video number 3 on how to adding Google Map to our Android Studio project. As you remember from our previous video, we set up our account, we created some projects and connected our Firebase tools to our Android project. As you see here in today's video, we are going to create a splash screen method and run it to our app. As you see, I have already created this algorithm to follow and take our steps to make sure we are in a right path and we do everything correctly. The first thing is we are going to check is, do we have an image for our splash screen? What do we need an image for? The image is going to represent our logo, is going to run. Either we do have it or we don't. So in your case, you can either have one randomly used from your computer and add it just to see how it works, or you can jump on Google and download one randomly very quick. It's nothing very major, you just need to have a photo to represent your logo in, and it will show you how it works, and later on you can change it. If we do have a photo, we can add it to our drawable route, which I'm going through with this. We assume we do have a picture, and now we are going to apply it and store it in our drawable route. I am going to use my logo as my logo for a splash screen, and as I said, I will go through it with you, and later on if you want to change it, you can put whatever you want to do. Just copy your picture, go to your Android Studio project. I am in a splash screen, which is main page for your application. On your left hand side you see project, click on project, open up your app folder. The third one from top is resource, click, and you are in our drawable. So before you're pasting any folder here, just make sure the name is in lower cases. Again, same as our XML layouts, they are not allowed to be as capital letter. Just Control V here and it will paste our photo. Here you can have an opportunity to change the name to lower cases or whatever you want to put it on. My name is OK, so I just click on OK, and that is implemented. Now we are going to our splash screen XML layout. Let me go back to my folder to see what we've done. We already took this step and we added to our drawable route. The next step, if we're following our path, is implement the photo in XML layout. This is the step now that we are going to take and work on. Go back to your project. This is what you see right now. So go on your top right side here in the middle shape, click, and this is where we can write down our codes and modifying our layout. What we are going to do is we are going to change the layout to linear layout. Just hold on here, drag, do not delete it, just highlight it and capital L and tap, bring the XML layout down. What the linear layout does, it's a parent which it will be fully screened around your device, either a tablet or your phone. Then it will put all the variables here either in a horizontal way or vertical way, which here we are going to identify how we are going to set up our layout. Come below your context, we are still in our start tag, click on here, enter, rotation as vertical because we want to layout sit above each other. Then we do padding as 20 dp. The text view we don't delete it right now, we just leave it as it is, and we are going to change it later on. Come down here, now I'm between my two start and end tags. We need an image view. It will be wrap content. Wrap content, what wrap content means, whatever the size the image is, this is going to be around it. Once you're here, forward slash, you're coming down, put it as, we need the background, sorry, not background, we need the source. Just write down src, click on tab, and here it asks you what folder you are going to insert here. I remember the name of my folder, and if you just type a few words of your folder that you paste it, then it will automatically bring it up for you. Mine was Haywold Circle here. So I just put 2 letters and it will recommend it to me. Click on tab, this is where you put in your photos. So now as you see, the image is here. We don't see the text view because we should resize this photo. but what I see, it's way bigger than what I expected. What we can do is go to your width or height. We can change it to 150 dp to 150 dp. Yeah, that works. Now we're coming down, we put as a gravity of our layout, your layout gravity has to be in the center. What does that mean? This photo will stays center of your screen or parent size. Then we're giving a margin top. Margin top, it will be sized from the top to the bottom, how far you want it. Let's try 150 dp. Wait, that's fine, that works, and that should work fine. Now the text view is already says hello world. We are going to change it. We don't need hello world, we just say my first app. That works. Then we delete this one, we don't need it, and with just gravity of our layout, it will be center, and it will be margin top. The margin top, because our layout, we set it as a vertical. Whatever you put it on below the image view, this is above the text view. From margin top, it will start from this layout, which is the text view, to our image view. So just put it as a 50 dp. That is fine for now, that works. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint to see where we are. We implement the photo in XML layout and add the text. Correct. Now next step is create a method. How are we going to create a method? Go back to your Java code on your splash screen. Here is our main class. Between here above your onCreate, I introduce a method which I call it as a container. What does that mean? You write down the names of your method at the start and end of the tags. And there is one main reason is you can refer to your method easily and you can change them. So I'm above our write off on create, just 2// write down the name of the method. Copy your method or comment below here. This is our end bracket, and this belongs to our main class. Just / write down as a main. So whenever we change, we know these are belong, whatever inside here, it belongs to each other. Now go above your onCreate, write down LOGT. We are creating a tag. What tag does, this is going to help us for debugging our app. So it's not necessary to have it, but I will recommend to have it because get a habit of using it. Later on, if you're going to debug your app, this tag will help you a lot. And in this video series, I'm going to show you how they are going to help us. And we are deliberately doing an error, and we are going to check if we do something right or wrong. So creating a tag, come down here. Now we need our view bending. How you implement view bending, because we enabled it here in our build gradual. We enabled our view bending. What you are going to do, you have to write down the name of your XML layout with the capital start, and it will has bending at the end. Let me show you. Splash screen bending. Here, tab, and we imported our view bending. Now we have to give a name as a variable to this imported class. We just call it as a splash screen bending with lower s. That's finished. Now inside our onCreate, below your super, coming down, now we have to implement a name, or sorry, we have to assign this name to the main class. What are you doing? Just a splash screen with a lower s equals to splash screen with bigger with a capital S and inflate. This is what you're gonna choose. And here just get inflate, get layout inflator, and click tab, semicolon at the end. What we've done, we just assign these variables to the main class and we expect what it has to do. Come down here. We are still about our set content view. Just write down view with a capital V. Make sure you're importing our correct class, android.view, and we are giving a name to this variable just as a view, with a small v equals to, now we have to assign this, get a root to these variables which we assign here. Splash screen bending dot get root, semicolon. Now it's all set. Giving some space here, because window feature. Now here we have to give an int to it. How are we going to do it is, you have to write down what you expect from this window feature to. Implement it, I will get window dot set flags, window manager dot layout params dot flag full screen, comma, window manager again dot layout params dot flags full screen. That works, and set content view stays as view. Here on get window manager, get window action, get support action bar dot hide. That works, and finish. Go back to our PowerPoint. We are going to create a method. Come down below on your onCreate. Here at the start of our comment, what we are going to say is, we're telling what the method is going to do, and the second part is going to say where we are expecting the method to be used. So what do I mean by that? Just write down so this is where the method is going to run. How we are calling it, we call it private void because it doesn't have any return, it just executes the codes. And what we are going to call it is splash screen. This is our method. Copy your comment, come to your end of your tag, and now this is what I mean. This is how you're creating a container. We need a debugger. It's very rarely we are going to use this debugger, but as a habit, it's better to get used to always using debugger, especially inside your method, to understand what you are doing. We're just running splash screen run. We are inside our splash screen method, and here we are going to implement a thread. So write down a thread with a capital T, give a name to this variable, thread equals to new thread, because we have to get an object from this class, and start here. Just write down override run. We have to overrun this method. We don't need run for now, just delete it. Try and catch, and I will explain in a second what are they going to do. Try is going to try a block of code, which I'm going to write it here, and a catch is going, if something happened in this block of code, we're catching an error and we chase up what caused this error. And if this is not the case, then finally we're running the method that we are going to run if nothing is happening here. So inside your try, just write down a sleep. Here we're telling the machine how long we are going to run our logo for. This is in milliseconds. For instance, if you put 4,000, that means your logo is going to run for 4,000. As you see, there is an error, and we have to catch the error. Come inside your catch parentheses, just exception E. We handle this error, just e.print stack trace, and we're basically following up if something went wrong. Inside the finally, if this is not the case, what we are going to do is we are going to run transfer from splash screen to our login page. Just write down a start activity. So make sure you're importing a correct class, the intent space. Here you just write down new intent with a bigger I. Here we are in our splash screen. This transfer to login page. Class. So what intent does, it will transfer the user from wherever you want it to wherever you desire to. For instance, we're in our splash screen. If everything's running fine, we get this user from a splash screen and we send it to login page, the page which we are expecting the user to land to. Come here below your above your end tag in parentheses, just write down thread with a lower t dot start, and that it will run this method. Here everything's perfect, and one thing is, whenever the user open up your app, the logo runs for 4 seconds and it will transfer to the login page. But whenever the user press the back arrow, it will come back to your method. So we don't want that happen to the user, and we are going to handle it and stop the user whenever they're pushing the back arrows. We want to exit from the app. How we are going to do it? Just come down below your comment, write down just write down finishing logo run. Write down on stop. So here we handle it. Once we left this page, we never want to let the user come back unless they are starting your app one more time. And below here, just write down finish. So what finish does, it will destroy the activity and doesn't let the user to come back here. Now everything is ready. Let's check what we've done. Create a method. Yes, we've created a method. Now we are going to test our app and transfer the user from our splash screen to login page. And one thing you have to remember is, whenever your method is in a faded color like this, that means this method hasn't been used anywhere. I'll tell you when I'm going to use it what will happen here. Just come below your action bar here, just write down your method name. As you see, turn to bold black. What does that mean? That means it's been used. Now let's try our app to see what comes up. Here's my logo for 4 seconds, our text, then we transfer the user to our login page. There is no content here because we haven't worked on it yet, but let's try if we click on back press, what will happen. As you saw, it never went back to our logo page, and it will start up from the Google page or is the main screen of this emulator. So everything works fine. We followed our pathway and everything's tested, and we are in our login page. So in next video on, we are going to work on our login page. If you do have any question, as usual, you know what to do. Just write down in a comment and I'll explain to you what we've done. Until next video, see you later.